Basketball fans, welcome back. So, the Kenya Ports Authority, KPA Dockers, matched up against Dynamo. Dynamo beat them 75-63. So, let's just talk about this. So, Dynamo just looked so prepared for this whole tournament, and honestly, KPA just looked so unprepared. We just didn't know what we were supposed to do there, and it has led us to that result. As you can see, I'm putting the playbacks on the screen so that you guys can just look at them, because when I was just looking at them while I was just rewatching this game, it was just a sad sight to see. And I must say, we just have a long way to go, especially when it comes to KPA basketball. The over reliance on foreigners to clean up our mess has led us to this point. And my God, even the box score, I was just puzzled. We had our usual guys. They didn't get the usual touches that they used to get, because when I saw five new players being added onto the roster, I knew something had to give, and I knew some players on the team that took that team to the finals domestically were not going to get the touches that they really, really wanted, and they're going to defer at some point to other players. And honestly, if you ask me, it's just a slap in the face to the players that have been there in KPA, and bringing in those four foreigners, and Ariel or Carl, like the doctor the doctor just padded, like I saw him in the fourth quarter. He just padded like say like 8 points in the fourth, and man, you can see he scored 12 points, but he just basically just shot two threes and made a two pointer in there. And honestly, you might think that him having 12 points there, he actually did not he did something there, but he actually did totally nothing, given the fact that he has played 32 minutes. This is a player that has done nothing for KPA, honestly. Then we have the guys that were brought in. Honestly, the only guy that scored double digits was Tyrone Jordan. So he was complaining a lot to the refs, especially with the missed calls that he was not getting. And he scored 22 points. And honestly, he had a plus minus from -7. Oh, on the doctor or Carl, he had a -10 efficiency. Jobu, 2 points, -10 efficiency. And also, man, like the turnover bug just kept creeping in a lot. 17 turnovers. And our usual guys, I was expecting a guy like Eugene Adair to at least, facilitate the offense, but I could see the coaching staff in KPA didn't let this guy operate the way he normally does, and he just didn't have anything. Then also, Philip Tobias, he was given like garbage minutes. I mean, 2 minutes, especially in the fourth, I just saw him play. And we're just having a situation where these players, our Kenyan players, are not being respected by their own team. And especially, mind you, they took this team to the finals. And when I've watched this, I just wonder, like, I just wonder what KP are thinking, because this is just a slap in the face to like all the players that are on the roster, and they took that team to the finals. They diligently went to training camp, and they just took that team to like the heights they were in, especially finishing this last KBF postseason when the finals came to a close. So one thing that I must say is this: these foreign players, these five additional players that were brought into the roster, they don't understand the struggle to get KPA to that point. So they don't care, they don't mind if they fumble it, because they don't know what it takes to like take a team to road to BAL. And I believe these Kenyan players who are playing for KPA should tell KPA to stop doing this, because they understand the struggle. They understand the struggle and grind to play at that level, especially and winning consistently domestically, and plugging in new players. I saw even they brought in like a new coach in there. So I just knew for a fact that it's just going to be a shit show, and it's just going to be a similar outcome as the other previous years. And even as you can see the playbacks from the screen, you could see KPA were just not in it. They were just not in it, honestly. You could see possessions, possession by possession. You can see they were just jumpy. You could see KPA like they were not settled in the offense, and even coming in even from the first quarter, I just saw KPA just kind of just fold and capitulate, and Dynamo just toyed with us, especially scoring inside. When you know the game is bad when Okal starts shooting 3 pointers, that's when you know everything is gone to the shitter. Because if this guy if these guys don't, not even this guy, if these guys don't figure out a way to like fix like how to attack inside, and also like having good floor spacers in there, we're just gonna go off for three. Because the way Dynamo looked, they looked like they understood their assignment. They looked like they knew what they were supposed to do, and they looked like off the bat they knew what plays that you're going to run. And they had a couple of breakout plays. They had a couple of dunks in there, and they just took advantage of like our wide open defense. Like our defense was so wide open, they were just walking through us. I mean, it was just a sad state of affairs. Look at that spin around. This guy just went in and just scored it. And KP were just, man, these guys were just not there, man. Like it was just sad to see, man. Like all the effort to take the team to Road to BAL, win domestically and take the team to Road to BAL, all of it just goes to waste. And looking at how like even the players who are brought in just doing nothing to like even understand that they are must win games, and understanding that you need to win a game. It's just sad, man. Like the whole team shot 39% from the field on 2 point field goals, 45%, and 29% from deep. So you could see our three ball, man, we were really struggling. 30 rebounds, only seven offensive rebounds. So we were not gonna win that matchup anyway. And Burundi just dominated all the way from the first quarter. I saw a situation where in the first quarter we had a couple of lead changes in the first quarter, but from the second quarter to the fourth quarter, KPA were absolutely dominated. There was no point KPA were trying to even try to like make the game close, because there was like a 12 point, 15 point buffer every single time, and KPA were not able to like overcome that deficit, and they dug themselves in the hole very early, especially in the first. But Dynamo were just playing an easy game. They just knew KPA were not going to be able to like recover because they had poor shot selections. I saw people taking unnecessary threes. They didn't know how to calm down the offense. There was a lot of run and gun, kaende. But the Tucheza 2 mentality for KPA was, it was very strong. And at some point, even I put even a video on my feed, like you can even see like the body language, like some of the players, the imports that we had especially in the game. And you could see at some point this guy was like walking, he was bending, they were just walking, especially in such a game that is high stakes. Every game matters, and it just led us to this result, even despite us even shooting better from downtown. Because KPA, we shot 29% from three, while Dynamo 20%. But you can look at the 2 point field goals. You can see 58% on 2 point field goals for Dynamo and 44% shooting from their field. So you could see Dynamo just knew which shots they needed to take, and they didn't even need to overstress the three ball, because they knew how to kill us. And they did, because KPA is known for capitalizing on fast break points. KPA had 0 fast break points, while Dynamo had 20. So the tool that KPA used to use against other teams was used against them. Points in the paint was 50. Dynamo scored 50 points in the paint. I mean, out of the 75 points, 50 inside. So that shows how KPA's defense is so wide open inside. There's zero interior defense, even considering the fact that we had Okal in there. The man did virtually nothing. Sivachi, I don't know. Like, we just had players who couldn't even defend in there. Eugene was just, a sweet and nice layup that he scored in there. Something that we needed. But looking at our interior defense, which was non-existent, I mean, there's not much to say about that. You see, you have a 7-footer who only scores in garbage time in Okal, so nothing there at all. 11. I mean, those 50 points they paid from Dynamo were just brutal. These guys led for 36 total minutes, and they led in every major statistical category, out rebounding KPA 46-30. So we got out rebounded by 16 more rebounds, and that was the game. KPA players, some of the management, the team selection was not great. The coach didn't know what lineups to put because there was zero time to like manufacture chemistry in there, and Dynamo were just toying around with us, and they just knew what to do, especially inside. We got out rebounded by 16 total rebounds, and they scored 50 points inside the paint. And at that point, I just knew there was nothing, absolutely nothing we could do to be able to stop anything. And honestly, if you ask me, I mean, this is just an early exit. I don't see us progressing anytime anywhere. Got that, out of bounds play. Number 14 goes in for the breakaway slam. So you could see we were just useless in there. And honestly, I mean, this is just a hard loss to take, because man, we were just so wide open on defense, and there's nothing we could do about it, man. I can just say KPA just, they're just gonna lose this. This is over. If they're going to continue like this, might as well just have stayed in Nairobi, because at this point, if you get scored on like 50 points in the paint, and you just leave your defense Nairobi and over rely on a 7-foot person who can't even rim protect, or even have a team that is cohesive, that has been set up to be a cohesive unit, with 2 regular season games in this new season, while 20 are just watching. I feel like this might be the last time you can see KPA in the next 1 or 2 years being in road to BAL, because they've squandered every opportunity that they had. They squandered it in 2019, they squandered it in 2022, and right now they're just squandering it. And the over reliance of players who can't help you, and these imports who you might think that you're just adding onto the roster and they're just costing you at the end, is the reason why we fail. And honestly, I've seen this coming. I don't want to say that there's something that I had. This is a series this is even a tournament that I had expectations on there. I just knew that you're going to fail all the way from the bat. So even I made a video earlier talking about this situation, talking about the players that we added, the 5 new players, and from there I just knew it's just game over. So this guy just finished in traffic, and Dynamo were just quick. They just had players who had the long stride, they knew how to rebound. You could see that guy just finishing in traffic, 0 rim protection, and there was nothing that we were going to do at that point to be able to stop anything. So yeah, man, I mean, it's a sad state of affairs. I mean, it's just pathetic. Like, everything that you have built, especially dominating in the local league, and just coming in and just capitulating here in the continental stage, man, it's just hard to take. I mean, I've not seen any block shot, I've not seen any dunk from KPA, nothing. Dynamo are just doing everything that they wanted to do inside. They dunked the ball. They were just quite dominant in there. They had players who knew what they were supposed to do, especially their front court players. Just really dominated us inside, and KPA just showed that they can't defend, and they don't even have an elite defense. And this is all brought down because like they're just bringing players from nowhere. We don't even know where these players are coming from, these imports, and they're just bringing them here and they're just ruining everything. So KPA, as long as they continue doing that, I mean, they're just gonna keep failing. And Dynamo just exposed KPA in a very bad way, and I'm pretty sure Thunder are watching and they'll have a mental edge on KPA if, man, if they meet in the regular season, because I know the imports, these imports are not going to play. And it's funny how we are branding ourselves as Kenya Ports Authority, so it's supposed to be International Ports Authority, because at this point they're just adding players who we don't even know. I know it's a club, but you're representing the country. You can see the flag even on Burundi. You're seeing they're gracing the flag. There's no flag in KPA. They're just using their organization. So yeah, man, it's pathetic. It's very pathetic. And honestly, I can say I saw this coming, because when I see some roster changes, I just know chemistry is going to be altered, and there's nothing you're going to do that is going to make us win. Last year we won only the first game and lost four straight, so this is not going to be any different, because if you're going to lose like three straight and being beat like that, and even you can see in the third they were 41 and we were 29, and over reliance of some players like Ariel Local, even in the imports, this is the reason as to why KP are just gonna keep failing. And man, yeah, man, it is what it is. So tomorrow we are gonna play Elan Cotton, and the next day on Saturday we're going to play Pazi. So I'll just be gearing up towards that, and I'll also plug these games in on Instagram, and also try to make some shorts there so that you can be able to like see like the whole game, how it panned out. I also see if I can try to make some highlights for you guys. But I'll just make sure to keep the posting of the videos at an all-time high on Instagram. So please be sure to follow my Instagram as well, NBA Kenya in there, and also follow me on X, Ball, and Facebook as well, Nderitu Basketball, the page. Make sure you like it. So yeah, man, I'm out. Peace. Look at that dunk before we go. Nice. Dynamo just knew what they were supposed to do.